Good morning all. I Rudrosa welcome you all on the behalf of the Sinotech Wipnet Club to the celebration of the National Sports Day. Today, along with us is the swimmer who qualified for the Tokyo Olympics 2020, Mana Patel. She was the only female swimmer to reach Tokyo Olympics and represent our country at an international stage. Today, on the occasion of National Sports Day, we remember Major Dhyan Chand, who helped India in staging hockey at an international stage. Now, without any further ado, let me hand over the spotlight to Mana, who will in brief narrate us about her experience at Tokyo Olympics and how it felt when she was between all the well-known sports celebrities like Michael Phelps and Mary Kom of India.
Rudra, thank you very much, beta. I unfortunately some technical glitch and I got logged off. And the children are continuously coming in today, maybe because of the excitement to meet up Mana. And I can absolutely imagine that. Let me introduce myself one more time. I'm really sorry about that technical glitch, please. And we have a fantastic video also being made by a child. So this is Dr. Megha Bhatt, founder Sinotech. And today is a special day for me for two reasons. Sinotech Vipnet Club by Vigyan Prasad is established in Ahmedabad, and the event what we conduct completely conceptualized and managed by children who are running the club. And secondly, today's guest is special too, as being a next door neighbor. I have seen her grow almost in front of me to reach this stage, and also I have seen the conviction in her parents as in her, making her what she is today. Parents have to learn how fruitful investment of time in child can be with this specific example. And this is the reason Mana is here today for this event. Now to introduce Vipnet Club is the concept where children are empowered to carry out all the activities and events by themselves, thereby getting them readied for tomorrow's world. This not only enhances their scientific temperament, also other skills related to real world in terms of leadership, ownership, empathy, teamwork, ideation, entrepreneurship, and lot of strength related to overall management. Sinotech Vipnet Club is geared up to self-sustaining to be managed by Sinotech children who meet up every Sunday virtually at present but offline eventually to discuss creative ideas and planning interesting activities or events. Trust me, it is a lot of learning for children, especially they are young, and when they meet up with their elder peers, the experience itself is very different. The club at the moment is formed with Sinotech year-long enrolled children and hierarchy in the form of president, vice president, treasurer and various committee leaders and team members based on their strength and interest, with only one philosophy, that is everything gets managed by children with macro level guidance by experienced mentors, and one of them being me. Now, however, with this event, we declare that definitely the club is open for all the children. Whoever is interested to get into the club, they can definitely contact us at Sinotech, and the details are on the Facebook page. And now, without wasting a single minute, I would really like to screen share to show the video which has been made by Siddhant Shekhar, a grade 10 child, and it's a beautiful video to welcome Mana for today.
Absolutely magnificent. Ronaldo. Oh, genius! Absolute genius!
So thank you so much, Siddhant, for this beautiful video. And now I will request Rudra, who is the treasurer of the club and today's anchor for the program. And if you have already introduced yourself, Rudra, then you can just quickly ask a question to Mana, please. Thank you.
Now, without any further ado, let me hand over the spotlight to Mana. I will be asking the first question. Can you please narrate narrate the story of your experience at Tokyo Olympics? Because I think Tokyo Olympics might be the best stage for any sports lover. I would also have been like to be there and meeting many of my favorite sports stars. I am such a crazy sports fan that I love to wake up at 4 and see Aditi or someone else playing golf. And sometimes when an Indian is also not playing, I just like to sit on around the TV and see the Olympics. So can you please explain the experience at Tokyo Olympics?
First of all, thank you so much, Megha Auntie, for having me here. And thanks to all the kids. It's so wonderful to see all of you celebrating this day together.
Mana, beta, can you be a bit louder, please?
Yeah.
You can just take the microphone close to your, close to you so that.
Yeah, it's fine now. Now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for having me. And talking about Tokyo, it was as if I was living the dream, you know, as a child when I started swimming, when I started competing. I've always wanted to represent the country at the Olympics and hopefully win a medal soon for India. So being there amongst all the other champions, best athletes of the world, it was incredible. Just by looking at them, you learn so many things. Interacting with them teaches you so much. And yeah, it feels special. So Olympics is all about celebration. It's all about celebrating other countries, everybody coming together at one place. So it felt incredible. I think I'd say I was really starstruck over there. Looking at Djokovic, I had tears because I got to take a picture with him and he was dining with us together. All of us were eating our meals together. So that was the highlight of Tokyo for me. And yeah, being there was just incredible.
Yes, Rudra.
Thank you for that lovely speech. It was insightful and motivation for all the young people like us, and we shall expect some of them to be there at some time. We shall now move to some of the questions which are designed by the students of Whipnet Club for Mana, and I have received such lot of questions by them, which clearly shows the excitement towards you. The first question will be asked by Pranshi.
Hello, Mana Patel. So I really like how your spirit is so wonderful and your swimming champion. So I just wanted to ask that at what age did you start swimming?
Hi Pranshi, you have such a beautiful voice. You're very cute. I started swimming. I learned at the age of 8, and I started swimming competitively at the age of 10. So, and at the age of 11, I won my first national medal. So that's how the journey began.
Thank you, Mana Patel. When did you realize that this is your passion? Swimming is your passion.
Because nobody from my family was from a sporting background, so it wasn't really planned that okay, I'll be an athlete growing up. But when I learned swimming, I enjoyed playing in the water, and I used to take part in the club level competitions, and I started winning. So that's when I realized, okay, I really like it. And I remember when I was 9, I had a fracture in my left hand, and I wasn't really swimming at a very big level. I was just learning and getting into it. So that's when I asked the doctor. I was like, doctor, will I be able to swim? And I was just 9. So doctor's like, don't worry, you'll have a couple of months break and you can swim again. So that's when I realized that I really, really like swimming and it's my passion.
Thank you. I also have many wonderful passions. Now, did your parents support you?
Beta, Pranshi, that's fine. Let's go ahead with the next children, please.
Thank you, Pranshi, for such a wonderful question. Now the next question will be asked by Shravya Sheth.
I think has
Yes,
Shravya.
af- yes, thank you, Rudra. After Pranji's question that you are doing swimming, you have got this passion when you were 8 years old. I am very keen to ask you, who is your role model?
Growing up, I had no role models because I didn't know much about the sport. The only thing I liked about, like, I was just enjoying playing in the water and racing. And I never, like, growing up, when I got into competitive swimming, that's when I started Googling who are the best swimmers in the world, how it is. And I started watching videos of other swimmers competing. So that's when Michael Phelps was at his best in 2008 and 2012. So yeah, hands down, Michael Phelps was my role model, and I think he was the best. So I was just following him throughout.
Okay, thank you.
Now the next question will be asked by one of our groups, one of the VIPNet secretary here.
Yeah, are you there? So the question is, did you ever feel like giving up or regret any kind of decision what you might have taken in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I did feel like giving up at times because, yeah, sometimes I don't even feel like waking up in the morning and continuing, getting up in the morning and doing the same thing again and again. Swimming is a very monotonous sport that way. So, yeah, there were days when I just, wanted to sleep in, and there was a period when I wanted to give up, when I just wanted to retire. It was when I was injured, and I thought I'll never be able to come back from the injury. Um, it was a very serious and a career threatening injury, but yeah, I surrounded myself with positive and motivating people, my parents, my coaches, my sponsors. So they pushed me to at least recover from the injury and do one race and see how it feels and then take a call. So it was during this time when I kind of regretted not taking up science, because I chose commerce because swimming had always been my priority, and I thought choosing science would not allow me to swim as much as at the level that I was performing. So when I was down, when I was injured, I was like, shit, I should have taken science. Now I'm regretting it so much. But all these thoughts, those are just passing thoughts. And then in the end, I know what my true love is, my passion is, and it's swimming, and it's always going to be the same. But yeah, there are definitely days when you don't feel like doing anything, and you don't want to get up and start your day. But that's when you have to really, really push yourself and get the job done.
Perfect. Dra?
So now the next question is by Anya Shah.
Yes, Anya.
Yes, hello. Along your journey, you would have surely had many opinions, circumstances, situations, and thoughts that acted as obstacles and to demotivate you. So, what were generally these factors, and how did you overcome them?
I think growing up, when you start performing well, of course, there will be people, there will be cheerleaders, there will be people who will support you, who will always say good things about you, will motivate you. And then there are people who will kind of be jealous about your success, will kind of try to pull you down. So, yeah, there are all kinds of people in the world. It's just, yeah, of course, growing up, I had so many critics, I had so many obstacles created by people, but then it's all about creating a bubble around you. And I think I'd give that. I'll give the credit to my mother because she's always stood by me and never let any nonsense come to me. So she stood by me like a rock all these times. So, she was like a shield in front of me. So, yeah, you should always surround yourself with people who you trust and who you think can protect you from the outside world. It's good to have someone like that.
Super.
Yeah, now the next
Thank
question
you.
will be asked by Ishani Chokshi.
Thank you.
And hello, ma'am. As a professional sports player, I would like to ask you that how sports are important in our day-to-day life.
Um, Sports, I think, is an integral part of one's life because honestly, I'll be very honest over here. When I was in school, first let's talk about the fitness first, because sports will obviously keep you physically fit. Even if you don't play it professionally, I think one should definitely take up one sport and just recreational, just play it regularly to keep your body fit. When I was in school, there were so many kids my age who were obese, like who were almost obese, and they were not fit. And I felt so bad. I'm like, you are the youth, and you are supposed to inspire the upcoming generation. So yeah, like fitness, I really emphasize on fitness. It's very, very important. Also, sports has other benefits about keeping yourself mentally very fit. Um, fast, you learn so much, it teaches you so much, and I think it will make you stand out from the crowd. And if you're a school going kid or a college going kid, it will also help you with your studies. It teaches you time management, it enhances your focus levels. So sports has so many benefits that people choose to ignore. But yeah, I'd really request everybody to take up one sport, even if you don't want to play competitive, just do it regularly to keep your mind and body fit.
Very nice. Thank you so much. And so many children, basically they need to understand that it's not only about sport or not only about the hobby, but as you rightly said, that naturally it actually activates the time management that yes, I have to reach at this time. Yes, I have to log in at this time. That is something so very important, and I think very beautiful answer and lot of learning for kids. Beta, please hear out that it's not only about your own question, but all the question what actually which makes you learn something out of it as her journey. That is what is was the purpose for today, beta. Right? So yes, thank you, Mana. Thank you.
Also, I'd like to add that it teaches you discipline like nobody else. I mean, sports is one thing that will discipline you all your life. You know, like as you mentioned, that reaching on time, logging in on time, keeping your body fit. You know, eating good food, eating healthy food. It teaches you how to behave and how to treat yourself, how to treat others. So after a certain point, I think it disciplines you for your life. And it's amazing to see, like when I interacted with Neeraj Chopra, of course he's an army person, but he's such a down to earth guy. The way he addresses people, it sets you a class apart. So I think that's also one thing that sports ends up teaching you. Stays with
Superb. In fact, I would really like to say that we have so far, of course, we have met you, but a very senior Geet Sethi is our very good friend, and he is like, the humblest possible person you can meet. And his book, Success versus Joy, I would, at the end, possibly, I will ask Salil to, share a little bit about that. So let's go on with the program right now, and it's every child should read that book, and how small incidences in your life or in your sports journey, teaches you that moment, that fraction of second, your peace of mind. How important it is that okay, you are stable and you have to perform and you have to do this without any stress. So all that is so important. Yeah. Okay, Rudra, please go ahead.
Yeah, the next question is by Anshini Bhatt.
Yes, Anshini.
Hello. My question is that as students, we have been taught that sports teach us discipline, management, imbibe other such traits in us. So, what's your view on this opinion? How did sports teach you time management, discipline, etc.?
So so she partially answered that question already, but still, you can give one example if you wish to for time management.
When I was in school, of course, I was on the clock all the time because I had to manage my school times along with my training times. So that's one thing. But then also after my practice sessions, I had to study, and so it really teaches you how much time to devote to. Of course, this generation is so much into mobile phones and iPads and movies, so obviously you are always going to be having a time crunch if you're playing sport. So it teaches you how much free time to take, how much to study. You have this much portion to complete for your exam. So when to take your free time, when to watch TV, when to go for swim. So that's how you manage your day, and this is what sport teaches you. So I think it's very much possible to manage your studies along with the sport that you play. And when I was in 10th grade, I got 90% in the school exam, CBSE, and 83% in the 12th CBSE Commerce. So I believe sports really enhances your concentration levels. And if you're good at time management, yeah, you can do anything.
Now the next question will be asked by Riya Parikh.
Yes. Good morning, ma'am. My question to you today is, in one of your TED Talks, you mentioned you had suffered from severe injury in one of your shoulders. Recalling that time now, how do you feel it affected your emotions and thoughts?
Because I was just 17 when I was injured. It was very difficult for me to understand what was happening because it was the first injury of my career and hopefully the last. But yeah, I couldn't really deal with the fact that, oh, I had to stay away from the field because I'm injured. Of course, the pain was there, but then emotions, like I was so, I couldn't understand my emotions. I was all over the place. So recalling that now, it was very difficult because one, I was very young and it was something that I'd never dealt with before. So yeah, it was difficult for me. I was very demotivated and I was very, very depressed. But what really helped me was, again, I'll mention my parents one more time. Being around them, I used to throw tantrums at them, but they understood. They tried and supported me. But yeah, reading good books by influential people, biographies and autobiographies will always help. There's something you'll always learn from somebody's life. I've read so many books by Rafa, David Goggins, that it really helps.
Super.
Thank you. And I would just want to say personally, I also like swimming.
Oh, that's so good to know.
Okay.
So good.
Now the next two questions will be asked by Arya.
Our excitement was at the next level when the questions were being made, and Arya was like, I don't know whether I would be able to ask or not. And she's so extempore. Come
Yeah,
on.
like right now I have like butterflies in my stomach because I'm really excited but like nervous. So yeah, I'm just gonna get to the question. So the first one is, sports persons are under a lot of pressure. When you okay, wait. Okay. Yeah. People are under a lot of pressure to perform. That puts their mental health at risk. Recently, Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka have been talking about this. So, what is your take on this issue?
Yes, it's very difficult. I felt the pressure too when I was at the Olympics. I mean, Olympics is everything. It's the highest pinnacle of sports. What Simone Biles withdrew and Naomi Osaka during the French Open, I can't even imagine what they must be going through because they're always put under the spotlight. They're always put under the pressure. Media hounding them. It's honestly very, very difficult. You end up having no personal space, no personal time, and your emotions are always out there. You're always out there in front of the people. So it's very difficult to keep yourself stable at times. When I was at the Olympics, I was doing so well after I reached there. I was training so, so well. So we were expecting a much faster time from me. And but on my race day, I don't know what happened. Nerves got the better of me. I honestly screwed up because I got so nervous and so much under pressure. I was shivering when I was wearing my race suit. So yeah, like it's difficult. You need to train your mind as much as you train your body. So mental health also comes with taking care of your mind. And that is one thing that everybody should start doing even as kids. It's very, very important to keep your mind healthy, like just as you look after your body. And that comes with of course, if you need help, you take help of your parents, your elder siblings, or sports psychologist, or whoever you think you can trust and who you think can show you the right path. So yeah, it's very important to look after your mind.
Yeah, okay. And the second question is, losing is inevitable. So when you lose a competition, how would you face yourself? And what were the emotions mainly, like how you felt, and how would you push yourself to try harder then?
So again, sports teaches you so many things, and losing it's a part of sport. So, and obviously keeping your spirits high and showing good sportsmanship, you take defeats in a positive manner. You learn from your uh, defeats. You learn what mistakes you made, and yeah, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to take some time off, feel bad about it. But then when you're feeling bad, you need to understand what you're feeling. You need to understand your emotions, your thought, and yeah, and then come out of it and not think about it again and keep working. So when I was really, really upset after my performance at the Olympics, I spoke to Mr. Gopi Chand, and he explained me how to deal with it. He in fact told me that I don't, wait, let me put this in words properly. So he goes like, when you're training, don't ever be satisfied with what you are doing, because then the hunger keeps you going. But when you lose, don't be sad about it. Be grateful that you at least got a chance to perform, and be okay with the result because you went out there and you performed. So he said some of these things, which I think I'll always remember, and it'll really help me going forward.
Great meeting you, first of all. And I'm still very nervous for some reason, but yeah, thanks.
But I am so happy that my children, are having really, really good time with you, Mana Beta. And for me, you are absolutely like them, and you know that as well. And as you rightly said, not only in sports, but for everywhere, failure also is part of life, right? And for if personally, I really feel like sharing my own experience, that I was such a shy kid. If somebody would have shouted at me for a minute, I would cry right there, in school rather. And now when they look at me, those, at least my school friends, when they look at me talking to thousands of people together, that is always, you feel that, oh my god, how you have. So all the children, beta, you have to always make sure that you are committed, and whatever you are trying to, as Mana rightly said, beta, kitna acha experience Mana ne share kiya, कि Gopichand ji, who is such a great mentor, those mentors, those words, she has not yet forgotten also, right? So like that, you have to always remember such wise words, and I think that also keeps us going. Thank you so much. Yes, please go on, Rudra.
Now the next two questions are by Hia.
Yeah, are you there, beta? Are you there? Khushi, can you please ask the question if it is ready with?
Yes. So
Please
I would
ask.
like to ask that in the COVID times, we have seen our bodies and fitness level changing. Most of the time for the worse. However, you have managed to remain fit and optimistic during these times. How did you do that?
So honestly, till now, I'd never gotten so much of free time before, because if I'm done with my competitions, then I have to get back to the books and study for the exams. Once exams are over, you again start, focusing on the swimming. So that cycle was never ending, and honestly, initially I felt so good. I'm like, oh my god, like first 2 months, nothing. I'm just gonna rest. I'm gonna recover from everything. just be by myself, spend time with family, watch movies, read books. So initially it felt good, but yeah, obviously later on it started getting a little frustrating because there was no activity happening whatsoever. But then it's again about I think it's all up here, like it's survival of the fittest, no matter what. So yeah, I found out ways to keep myself fit. Just obviously, swimming is a sport where you have to be in the pool. You can't imitate anything sitting at home. But yeah, just doing some home workouts, reading good books again really helped me. So yeah, adapting, I think adapting to the situation is very good. It'll help you survive better, it'll help you sustain better. So no matter what happens, I think you should somewhere find where how to adapt and how to change according to the situations.
True. Yes, Khushi. Next question also,
I
beta.
would also like to ask that what was the most proud moment for you in your career as a professional swimmer till now?
Honestly, I've never celebrated any of my victories or my good swims. I just get a few congratulatory messages. My parents are happy, I'm happy, and then it's like on to the next one. But one moment that I'll never forget is when I was 13 and I became India's fastest and youngest female backstroker in the history of Indian swimming. So I think that's a very special moment. Why? Because I was so innocent. I had no clue what had happened. I finished and I look at the stands. I got a standing ovation. Everybody was hooting and
Wonderful.
what happened? So yeah, that.
So it is, as we rightly say, that inventions are accidental, right? So for science, as we say, inventions are accidental. You keep on experimenting, and in one go it just happens. So just like that, you might not even, when you started swimming, you might not even ever imagine that okay, people will just stand like this and give you this standing ovation. Wonderful, wonderful. So I think we are, and trust me, not even you, your parents, we are absolutely equally proud of you. Yeah. So I think let's go on to the next question, please. And I think she must be tired of answering so many questions. But I think children were unending sending me questions, and at night I said that now the script is ready. Please stop.
So cute.
Chalo. Okay.
Now the next question is by Purav Bhatt.
Yes, Pura.
That how to keep your how you diet this COVID times many people are obese for how to keep your fitness keep.
Yeah, so he's just trying to ask that how many hours do you train yourself, to just keep yourself fit with the situation we are right now, just in connection to the earlier question. Yes.
So on my training is gonna resume from Monday. I'm heading to Bangalore, so the pools are open there. So I'll be training 2 hours in the morning in the pool, 1 hour of gym, and again 2 hours of swimming in the evening. So that's my normal training schedule like. But when the pools have been shut for the longest, so when they were shut, I still, I'd still go to the gym every day for 1.5 hours and keep myself fit. I can't stay away from the gym.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now the next question is by Sheel Mehta.
I have a few questions. One of them is, what type of diet do you follow when you anytime when you had the Olympics, especially?
It's a very so I obviously go into the Olympics because you're also exam. Let me begin by saying avoid eating junk food, avoid eating packaged food like all chips and biscuits, and it's not very healthy. And have have control on your sugar intake, obviously, because the sugar is not good for your bones. It's not good for your health. Excess sugar. Yeah, going into the Olympics, I was focusing on lots and lots of carbs it gives you instant energy. So I eat lots of pasta or rice combined with some meat protein and then a little bit of beef. So that's the diet that I followed during the Olympics at the village.
Also, you said you had a few injuries, one fracture, something in 2017. Are there some steps you take every single time you have an injury? Like regardless of what type it is or where it is, like I have to follow these steps to either make sure I recover quickly or like I don't feel any sort of, and maybe just mostly recover quickly.
Yeah, so there is a normal a rehab program that I follow so that my muscles, after training, my muscles don't get injured. I take care of my body. I take care of my muscles. I do certain maintenance work, which involves in strengthening of your muscles in certain ways so they don't end up getting injured. And of course, sleeping on time, getting good sleep, getting good nutrition also plays a big role in not getting injured or falling sick.
Super. Super. In fact, not only children, our adults also, should be following all this, I think. And for us, it is right now so much applicable in COVID times. Salil would agree with that we are not even sleeping before 2 a.m. So I think that's not a right idea to follow. And Salil uncle also should, I think he's hearing out. Anyway, chalo, next one, please. Who's the next one?
Now the next one is Yuvraj Desai.
Yes, beta.
My question is, how did you get an idea to take swimming as a sport and not any other sports? Was there anyone who became your role model?
It was very funny actually why I started swimming, because I earlier mentioned I don't come from a sporting background. Nobody from my family had decided that okay, she'll be an athlete growing up. So as a child, my appetite was very poor and I'd not eat properly. So the reason my mom put me in swimming was, because that okay, if she plays in water for some time, she'll at least come out and eat properly. So that's why she put me in a summer batch of 2008. Yeah, her purpose was being solved and I was enjoying, so everything fell into place.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Yuvraj. Next one, please.
The next one is from Om Shah.
Om, are you there, beta?
Yes. Hello, Mana Patel. How are you? Here is my question for you. What are your future plans? Do you have any plans for continuing in the sports field as a coach or opening your own center?
I'd definitely like to give back to the Indian swimming or the sports community in general once I retire. Or I don't know if I'll take up coaching as the profession later on, but I'd definitely get into administrative work or health and wellness or pre-medical, which involves, a little bit of fitness and nutrition aspect in terms of sports. So some way I'd like to contribute to the sport industry once I've retired.
Perfect.
Now the next is from Vihana.
Vihana, yes, beta.
Hello, Mana Didi. Actually, first of all, it's blissful to meet you as a very encouraging person. So my question to you is, how are you so determined and focused towards your goal, your passion, as you would have experienced many failures, hurdles in between your, fulfilling your goal. So how are you so determined?
Yeah, of course, it is very difficult to keep going even when you are at your lowest. But then I think this all starts from loving what you do. First of all, if you don't love your profession, if you don't love your job enough, then you'll never be able to continue it, even if even when you're at your lowest. So for me, swimming is my everything. Yeah, there were times when I kind of forgot that, but there was this incident where my mom took me for a movie, like how some theaters just play the national anthem before the movie begins. And that's when I told my mom, I was like, shit, this is the only thing that doesn't let me quit or doesn't let me retire, the national anthem and the flag. So yeah, of course, you need to find that something that keeps you going you should it's then it comes down to how bad you want it, how much you love doing what you do. And for me, the high that I get from winning, from performing, nothing replaces that. Nothing will ever match that. So I think it again comes down to how badly you love your studies, your sport, or whatever it is that you do. Your main.
So I think before we move on to the next question, I think I would really like to add in something here that for Rushin, there were times where he has been a piano player, as you know, since beginning, and he used being a Riverside child, he loved football, and like these days, every time football and all that. So Salil just once gave one example that if there are 10 children standing and if only one to be chosen for football, it may not be you. But if there are 1,000 children standing and if only one to be chosen for music, it would be definitely you. So think about your niche, think about your, as you rightly said, survival of fittest, your inside ability, your ability to work towards it. Like whenever some assignment is given for Rushin, like, in his school, they used to say that, okay, draw your emotions. And he used to such poorly put up, something where in 9th standard, one of his teachers said that 5th standard ke bacche jaisa drawing bana hai. So he said, I am not a drawing person. Tell me to compose and I will do that. So she said, just laughingly, she said that, okay, come tomorrow with your Bhutan experience in your composition. And he did that. Okay, so it's like you have to identify your passion, as she rightly said. Thank you so much. And I think we have a last question by a child. Rudra, who is the last?
Now the last question is by Ashi Varodia.
Ashi, are you there, beta?
Yes, ma'am. Is there something you would like to address to today's generation?
I'd just like to say that I'm 21, and if I can do it, everybody else can do it too. It's again about finding what you love and giving it your 100%. And yeah, one small request: if you're doing something, if you take up anything, say even if it's just studies or sports or anything in life, please give it your 100%, and nothing less than 100%. Because yeah, if you do anything, then you might as well do it properly. So I'll just request everybody to first love what they do and give in their all for whatever it is that they take up in life. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mana, for such wonderful answers. Now there will be a small quiz which will be posted on the Zoom and as well as on the Facebook Live.
So beta, I think meanwhile Karthik was also raising hand to answer, but right now in the chat there is a very small quiz which will take just 5 minutes, and as decided our program is right going in time and it will get over before 12 o'clock. So do attempt the quiz, all of you, and I think you will have fun and fun time playing that, and let's see test our knowledge. Meanwhile, I think all the children are playing quiz. I think I would really love Salil to be just on the screen for a second, because being a voracious reader and read Success versus Joy, I would really like to ask Salil to just say a few words for today, please. Yes, Salil.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, yes, Mana, what should I tell about her? Like, I mean, have always seen her grow in front of us, and hats off to you and your parents. Like, I mean, we have seen their, I would not say struggle, but the efforts to, nurture the interest what you always had. So hats off to the whole family, including your, Nana, Nani, and everybody. So now talking about the book, Success versus Joy has been very, very close to my heart. The book written by Mr. Geet Sethi, who is a very close family friend also. And just for your information, for last about 5 years, I have decided that wherever there is a birthday or anniversary or anything like that, I would always give that book to that person. And that book is out of print. And Mr. Sethi, he made me meet the publisher in Delhi. And I always get the book direct from the publisher and gift it to people. So and it is a phenomenal book to be read by not only by children, but even as parents like us also. So my question to you is that going from that book only, that it discusses like whether success follows joy or joy follows success. So in your case, what would be your take? Because you enjoy swimming, the success followed, or because you have started being successful, the joy followed, or it was kind of a combination? Or I would really love to hear.
Wonderful. Yes.
I think it's a cycle. So I think you should always start off by, joy follows success. And then obviously once you're successful, you'll be happy again. So it's like a cycle, but I think it should begin by joy follows success, It's very important to be happy, to love what you do. So you should find happiness in what you do. So I think that's how
Yes, it's season and egg thing, but then I think it starts with joy. Rather, it should start with joy.
Exactly.
Another idol what I have is Mr. Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And what he always said, and I would recommend that also, his biography to be read by everybody. And
Mana continuously mentioned that you must read, food for thought, and continuously mentioned that please read biographies, please read such stories. It teaches you a lot.
So he very interestingly says that, if today is your last day in this world, would you be doing something what you have planned to do today? If not, then there is a very, very likely reason where you should change the path of your life. So I mean, correlating with what you're saying is that if at all you're not enjoying what you're doing, the whole exercise is worthless. You have one lifetime, then probably, and if you really do what you enjoy doing, then that gives you probably the best of the results also, and long term also.
Yeah.
So very rightly said that the success could follow joy rather than the other way around, and then
And I would really like to call Analben, Mana's mom, with a humble request as a parent, talking to other parents who are listening to us. Trust me to give time. We have seen her, taking Mana at such early mornings for swimming and directly changing and going to school and all that. A lot of commitment from parents' side. And I think it's not easy, especially in these times when parents, have their own commitments and they have their own startups, and probably they are very, very, superly busy. Okay. All the parents are superly busy, but how many of you have, actual time for their children to reach to this level? Yes, Analben. Hello. So અમને બહુ ગમશે તમે whatever way you would like to share કે તમે માનાના આજે મુકામ પર તમે પહોંચાડી એવું નહીં, બધાએ સાથે મળીને પહોંચી એની પુરુષાર્થ કરવાની શક્તિ, પણ તમારું મોટિવેશન, તમારું કમિટમેન્ટ, તમારો ટાઈમ as parents, would you like to share anything with our parents today?
Right, like I can tell you, Mana, from the beginning, she is such a wonderful kid. And I tell you, she listens to me every time, no matter what, like any situation, she shares everything with me, about her swimming thing, about her friends thing, whatever. Still today, she's not shy to, share anything to me, which is commendable. And each and every day, I request them to share whatever you feel, whatever it is, but share with your parents.
Right.
So your parents can guide you properly and protect you from the outer world also.
That is true. પણ આમાં કેવું છે આનંદબેન, I would really like to tell you કે ચાઇલ્ડને એ લેવલ સુધી પહોંચાડવું કે એ તમારી સાથે એક મિત્ર તરીકે શેર કરે, એ વસ્તુ પેરેન્ટ્સ માટે સમજવું બહુ જ જરૂરી છે કે ક્યારે પણ બાળક તકલીફમાં હોય તો એ ત્રીજા માણસ પાસે જવાને બદલે સૌથી પહેલું તમને પકડે કે યસ ધીસ વોટ આઈ એમ ગોઈંગ થ્રુ દેટ સમથિંગ સો ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ એન્ડ આઈ થિંક તમને શું લાગે છે એ બાબતે
calm and very patient for that. You have to listen to them. ભલે I can tell you અંદર કંઈ પણ ગુસ્સો આવતો હોય but you have to manage them very nicely and you know પહેલા એમનું સાંભળવું પડશે તમારે શાંતિથી અને કંઈ ખોટું પણ હશે તો once you have to say નહીં બેટા you are right but અને after that whatever it is, every coin has two sides. So I always tell Mana, if you decide this, these are the plus points, these are the minus points. Now you have to choose where you want to go and what you want to do. We are always with you, whatever your decision is. So I always support her like that. I always tell her, you know, situation regarding કે એ કંઈ પણ decision લેશે તો એમાં એને કેટલો ફાયદો ક્યાં થશે અને ક્યાં ક્યાં નુકસાન પણ થઈ શકશે સી સ્પોર્ટ્સ પર્સનની જર્ની ઇટ્સ નોટ ઇઝી સો મેની અપ્સ એન્ડ ડાઉન્સ શી હેઝ ટુ ફેસ and till today so many people around you to judge you all the time
right
so yeah positively negatively so you have to handle that also and
I think મને એવું પણ લાગે છે કે એ તો સાચી વાત છે પણ એઝ અ પેરેન્ટ હું તમને છેલ્લો સવાલ આપણે એકદમ સમયસર જ પૂરું કરશું ને માનાએ ખૂબ સમય આપ્યો એના માટે અમે બહુ જ થેન્કફુલ છીએ મારા બાળકો તરફથી પણ હું ખૂબ થેન્ક યુ કહું છું પણ બિફોર દેટ આઈ થિંક વુડ યુ લાઈક ટુ સે કે તમે કેટલા બધા સેક્રિફાઇસીસ કે ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ ટાઈમ કે તમે આટલું બધું ટ્રાવેલ એની સાથે હંમેશા કર્યું કે એની નેશનલ કોમ્પિટિશન છે ને આ કોમ્પિટિશન છે ને ઇન્ટર સ્ટેટ ને આટલી બધી કોમ્પિટિશન્સમાં યુ હેવ બીન વિથ હર ઓલ ધ ટાઈમ so probably as parents maybe you also lived you know separately for quite a long time because you were always traveling with her so it's such a big sacrifice from the parents perspective also એટલે what would you say about that part
yeah I am always traveling with Mana and me and Rajiv we both have decided કે never like a stage આવશે કે જ્યારે માનાને એકલા મૂકવું પડશે we would like to quit rather than keeping her you know like અને રાજીવનો પણ સપોર્ટ એટલો છે કે he is doing his part and I'm doing my part so being a girl child or male child whatever it is but અમે ડિસાઇડ કર્યું હતું કે નહીં always કોઈ એક પેરેન્ટ એની સાથે રહેશે and I can tell you since 10 years અમે કોઈ હોલિડે નથી લીધું સાથે અમે સાથે રહ્યા જ નથી એટલું and Mana always એના ડેડને મિસ કરે because dad has to be at home with my mother-in-law so it is like that
it takes a lot you know to get your child to another level I think it's a family it's a teamwork you know
absolutely absolutely and I think just like calling Anilben I think Rajiv bhai ને પણ અમારા તરફથી ખૂબ અભિનંદન કે બિચારા આટલો બધો કેટલું બધું it takes in terms of family in terms of parents you know it's too much but anyway thank you very very much I think and we are extremely thankful to all of you I think
I would like to say one more thing that you have to develop that courage to see your kid in pain you know while injuries and while this phase are there now so as a parent I would like to say કે તમારા કિડને તમે જો પેનમાં જોવાનું તમને કરી શકશો એને હિંમત આપવાની હિંમત તમારે ભેગી કરવી પડશે એ જો હશે તો ડેફિનેટલી તમારું કંઈ પણ કરશે એમ આગળ આવશે
અરે વાહ થેન્ક યુ સો મચ કેટલી સરસ વાત કરી તમે બહુ જ ફ્રૂટફુલ ડિસ્કશન આપણે કહીશ ડિસ્કશન નહીં કારણ કે માનાને આ લોકોએ સતત બિઝી રાખી ખૂબ સવાલો પૂછીને અને આઈ થિંક છોકરાઓ અને બધા ક્વેશ્ચન્સ આઈ એમ હેપી કે ઓલ ધ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ આર બીંગ પુટ અપ બાય ચિલ્ડ્રન ઓકે સો ઇટ્સ લાઈક વોટ sequence them and it was I think wonderful interaction and let's I think right now we are done with our Facebook program. Thank you very much from our side and Rudra beta, would you like to say anything at the end, or would Salil like to say anything at the end before we close down program for Facebook?
No, I would have Rudra probably say, but basically, thank you so much to both of you and Rajibai also that, just on a
Yes,
phone
Salil.
call, you were available. We were sure of it. Now Mana is at that stage that we have to acknowledge that respect what she has for us. So thanks a lot, and I'm sure that the questions or the talk would have motivated not only children but also parents. And you, Analben, you very rightly said that parents' conviction and that support to a child. That okay, I mean, if you decided to do this, then these are the pros and cons. Now you take a call. We are always with you. But then later on, you should be clear that it was the call which was practical. So that becomes very, very important. We always see that whenever your child has any kind of challenge or issue or a problem or a situation, probably he or she should approach the parents first rather than anybody else. And that is the kind of rapport what you should have, parents and children should have with each other. So very rightly and aptly said. So thank you so much from both Megha, me, Sinotech, and Sinotech's children and parents for coming on board with us at this point of time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Bhai and Megha. You guys are family. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for our side, and I think I'll just let me just very quickly